I am a textbook millennial perfectionist. I am an overthinker when it comes to content and the way that I put things out online. And it cripples me. It's one of those things that I encourage all of my friends to stop doing. And yet I'm kind of stuck in that same pattern myself. As I talk to my friends, there's so many things and just these raw thoughts and incredible insights that they have to the companies they're building or the approach they have to, their life, their business, whatever, that I wish they would just share. But, growing up in the sort of Instagram age where everything was really polished, it's a really hard thing to shake. And so this video is the first of a new relationship that I'm trying to build with social media. And it's the beginning of overcoming my fear and overcoming the sort of constraints that I put myself in as a textbook perfectionist and millennial overthinker. So the challenge that I'm setting for myself is this. It's to post one new video a week, but I only have 1 hour total to film and edit. And that is where the constraint comes in that I already feel really inspired to create within. Being a freelancer for a long time, having to be resourceful with time and resources and money and all that kind of stuff, I realized that the less constraints that I've had now that I'm an entrepreneur, the more time I have to overthink these things and to hide behind an edit and all of this kind of stuff. And so this constraint of putting 1 hour on the clock, I showed you this at the beginning of the video, but we're 7 minutes and 44 seconds into filming. Obviously I've, stuttered and fumbled my way through a couple of these takes, but essentially I'm setting that time to challenge myself to basically say, you're not allowed to over edit. You're not allowed to overthink this. You have to be raw. Sometimes that might mean that I ramble about something, that I'm really passionate about for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and put 15 minutes into the edit. And sometimes it might mean that I have a 1 minute video that I want to spend a little bit more time, putting the text on or whatever. But I'm also setting the parameters that I'm not allowed to batch content or, sort of batch record stuff and have this sort of like backlog that's hanging out there. Because for me, I'm realizing that the more that I do that, the more that I sort of like have the release in my head already and I never actually put it out, or I'll sit there and over edit things. And then I sort of, find myself in this rabbit hole of overthinking. Basically, by the end of this hour, I want to have a video that I'm ready to post. And I'm excited about this. So that's the challenge. And now I'll kind of tell you a little bit more about why. Number one, I have realized the power of constraint. And I think that honestly, the smaller the box, the more creative you have to become. Number two is obviously, I don't have a lot of time. And that's one of the biggest excuses that I've made for myself when it comes to creating content like this is that, I just don't have time. Currently I am running 2 other companies, Sunday Screens and Happy Editing. And those take an incredible amount of time and energy and focus. And even with a team that we're building, there's still a lot of responsibility that falls on my shoulders. And it's such a big headspace that I have to, navigate how to lead all that stuff, which kind of leads into the third point is that, those are very niche sort of aspects of, who I am, what I do. In order to sort of be successful in both of those companies, it's important to be niched, to create content in those areas. And in the process of sort of separating myself and my personal brand from those expressions and building something that's bigger than myself, I feel like I've kind of lost that relationship with, being able to be myself online. And so this channel may be a bit of a shotgun, approach to the way that I like what I share, how I share it, all that kind of stuff. There are a lot of sort of like half-finished projects or courses or pieces of information that I really want to share with the world. And rather than waiting until I have these perfectly polished presentations, I don't want to think about having to always take these thoughts that I have to the finish line or to, to build some new business out of them or something like that. I feel like I just want to get into a better flow where things are coming in and going out a lot faster. And I want to shorten the distance between, input and output, because I feel like that's where some of the best things in my life have flowed. And in the process of becoming an entrepreneur and, building businesses, I've sort of like tricked my brain into thinking that I have to wait until something's really polished. So this may be a pretty shotgun approach to the types of things that I'm going to share, but I'm excited to just experiment and share and get back to the joy of creating for the sake of creating. And so we're at 19 minutes, 45 seconds here. And I'm going to try and wrap this one for today. Let's see how much I sort of fumbled through this, but I've got 40 minutes to edit this thing and get it ready to post. Thank you guys for joining. If you want to come along with me on this journey as I figure this out and begin to share more parts of my life as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a creative director, all those things that I do and am, and as I just overcome this challenge of being a perfectionist, millennial perfectionist, I would love if you want to subscribe. But yeah, looking forward to the next one, and see you soon.